Okay, everyone. How are you? I'm Pastor Nick Gentile. I'm the founder of Compassion Match, and by the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, I have a great show for you today. I will be interviewing Steve Reeves. Now, Steve lives in a small town of Castile, New York, New York, and is a patient at UR Medicine in Rochester, New York. He has stage 5 kidney failure, and it progressed to stage 5 in July 2020. He has a big team of doctors at Strong, as well as the dialysis clinic in Rochester that he sees monthly for lab work. Ultimately, Steve is in need of a generous and compassionate person who's willing to come forward and be tested for him to see if they are eligible to be a living donor for Steve to save his life. Now, his blood type, as you can see on the screen, is B positive. He was born on September 26, 1988, young man. He currently works 10 hours on weekends cleaning. That's about all he can handle right now. And in November 2020, he gave up his security job due to his condition. He is a single father of an 11-year-old son and has a girlfriend named Caitlin. He loves spending time with both of them and doing outdoor activities. He likes to go on walks at the park and to both fish and hunt. And in fact, you put him outdoors and he'll be happy. Now, Steve himself will be sharing his story with the hope that at least one special person, and hopefully more, will come forward and get tested to help give him the gift of life. Now, quickly about myself, by the grace of God, as both a kidney and liver donor, I created Compassion Match to help people in need of a kidney transplant find living kidney donors, as well as to educate the public about chronic kidney disease and advocating for living kidney and, if possible, liver donation. And I have some amazing projects in the works right now that I can't get into details about, but it's pretty exciting stuff, and it's going to help a lot of people, Lord willing, who are in need of kidney transplants get kidneys. So, facts about chronic kidney disease and end-stage renal disease or renal failure. According to Kidney Fund, 37 million people, estimated 37 million people in the United States are living with chronic kidney disease or CKD. The term chronic kidney disease means lasting damage to the kidneys that can get worse over time. If the damage is very bad, your kidneys may stop working. This is what is called kidney failure or end-stage renal disease, ESRD. This is unfortunately what this young man is dealing with. It's very terrible. It's very painful. And why it is so vitally important that as many people as possible come forward and get tested for him to increase his chances of finding a living kidney donor. Now, real quick, I show this during every broadcast in terms of educating the public. Like I said, that's part of why I'm doing this. So I'm going to share this page from the Urban Kidney Alliance website, and it's information about chronic kidney disease. Let's see. Yes, that page is on there, and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to highlight this section. There isn't a lot of information here, but I do want to read this. Knowledge is power. What is chronic kidney disease? Chronic kidney disease, or CKD, is a serious and growing public health problem in the United States. CKD is a condition in which the kidneys become damaged, decreasing their ability to filter the blood and remove water and waste products. Wastes then build up in the blood, harming the blood. When kidney function decreases to less than 15%, a patient has kidney failure. Okay. Kidney failure that requires dialysis or kidney transplant is often referred to as end-stage renal disease, or ESRD. More than 20 million Americans aged 20 and older may have CKD. Although CKD is common, many Americans with the key risk factors, diabetes and high blood pressure, do not know they are at risk. In addition, the rising rates of diabetes and obesity will continue to fuel its growth, as both conditions increase the risk of developing CKD and speed its progression. And therapies exist that can significantly slow the progression of CKD to kidney failure, etc. And so you can read the rest of that. Now, real quick, I want to go to the homepage and promote this gentleman's book. His name's Steve Belcher. He's a friend of mine. He runs this website, an Urban Health Alliance. That's the book, How to Survive Outpatient Hemodialysis. Get that book. If you are on dialysis, you're about to go on dialysis, get this book. It can only help you. So with that said, let me take this off the screen, and you can go to Urban Kidney Alliance urbankidneyalliance.org for more information. So I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm now going to bring Steve onto the show. Steve, thank you for agreeing to do this interview. How's your day gone so far?
So far, so good.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. I'm happy to have you. So now what I want you to do is tell your story. Don't leave out any details. Make your strongest appeal to people, letting them know how desperate your situation is and how badly you need a kidney transplant, and in fact, a living kidney donor to come forward to get tested for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, a living donor is the more successful way to go about the approach. Well, Nick has included a lot of details, obviously, as you've heard, but basically, as of July of 2016 is when I was first actually informed of where my condition was at, and at that point was at stage 4. Obviously, experienced symptoms along the way, nothing comparable to where I'm at now. I've been a type 1 diabetic for 22 years, diagnosed at juvenile age of 11. Throughout the years, not really too many complications. Kept a good grasp of the diabetes, but unfortunately, I am now 32, and of all the things that can happen with diabetes, it's attacked my kidneys. From 2016 to 2020 is when all the damage has really occurred, and which brought me to stage 5, which has completely changed my life in a lot of ways. I used to be a very active, on-the-go type of guy, and it's really slowed me down. Uh, Currently on dialysis, about 5 to 7 nights a week, right from my own home. Uh, I do it at nighttime, so it doesn't really affect too much of my life. That's why I chose that route, so I could still somewhat enjoy the life that I have. But yeah, like Nick said, really seeking that one hero out there that can really give me that second chance at life again. And as you can see, blood type B leaves me with being able to receive a B or an O donor. But every 2 to 3 months, I have blood work done. There's a test called a titer test, which pretty much just gives you a number, and that number has been holding right about 8, which allows me to be able to be a universal, which I can receive from any blood type at this moment. And I just had that blood test done last week, and I'm still sitting at 8 on that. So I sit on like Nick said, a big team of doctors at Strong, my dialysis clinic, keeping me going. Every day is a blessing to be here, and just patiently waiting for my time, basically. So any help would definitely be appreciated. Would definitely go a long ways.
Absolutely. And guys, you see the information scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's a ticker tape. That is the information for Steve's nurse coordinator, Whitney, at UR Medicine. Give her a call to get the ball rolling on the testing process. You see the number there at the bottom of the screen. And I was blessed by God's grace to donate 70% of my liver through UR Medicine. So it's an excellent hospital. I'm born and raised in Rochester, lived here my entire life. I know how good the quality of healthcare is there, and they will definitely take care of you. The whole team will. But in particular, you're dealing with the kidney coordinator. Wonderful people. I haven't met one kidney coordinator that isn't tremendous, isn't terrific, and doesn't care about the people that they're taking care of. So talk about your experiences and your history on dialysis, when that began, what you've experienced. Yeah.
Oh, It's been just a little over a month now since I've been doing dialysis at home, and actually had my doubts, which I'm sure a lot of people do. It's scary. It's a big thing to take on. I mean, it's a lifeline basically. But I've had a lot of appointments this past month with my dialysis clinic, and so far so good. It's actually a lot of my lab works have turned around big time. A lot of improvement. Um, Unfortunately, uh, it's not a fix. It's just a basically like a band-aid right now to keep me going until I can definitely get a transplant. It's uh, it's not something it's not something I enjoy doing by any means, and I'm sure anybody will tell you that. It definitely I do have my days. I had those good days and I had those bad days, but like I said, every day is a blessing to be here, and we just keep on moving.
That's right. That's right. Okay, guys. So what I want to do is shift our focus to really kidney donation. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. And again, you see the information scrolling up at the bottom of the screen. Please call his nurse coordinator, Whitney, to get started with the testing process. We need as many people as possible to come forward to get tested for Steve. The more people that come forward, that increases the chances of someone being selected as a donor for Steve. And as you tune in, you're going to hear 3 different ways that you can help Steve. There's more than just one way, and I'm going to get into details about that. But the quickest way and the best way right now is contact his nurse coordinator and get the ball rolling on the testing process. She'll educate you. She'll let you know what you have to do to begin the process. You will any questions you have, you ask her, and I hope to answer at least some of those questions today, and to provide you with information and resources that'll help answer any questions you have. But to start, get in touch with Whitney, his nurse coordinator at UR Medicine, and she'll help you get the ball rolling on the testing process. But right now, let me switch gears, and I'm going to share this page, and this is about information related to kidney donation, which is very important for prospective living kidney donors to know. So let me share this screen.
Hey, Nick, by the way,
Yes.
it may not exactly be Whitney that you'll speak to, but there is
Okay.
definitely
Sure.
whoever takes that call will welcome you with open arms. That's for sure.
Sure. And that is the number to call, guys, no matter what. That is the general number to call. So the same number to call, give that number a call, and get the ball rolling, no matter who you're going to speak with, whether it's Whitney or someone else who's a part of the donor team. Okay. So let's go from here. And this is the website I want to show you guys right now. And this is Kidney Fund. That's where I read about the 37 million Americans having chronic kidney disease. I got it from this website right here. And the link to this page is in the description section of the video, so you can click on it and read it yourself. But I want to read some aspects of this page because it's a very informative page, a lot of good information for prospective living kidney donors. And I'm going to read 2 sections. The first section being a living kidney donor and living donor surgery. You can read the benefits and risks of living kidney donation. I'm going to touch on those a little bit, but I want you to do your own reading as well. And again, the link to this page is in the description section of the video. And I don't want to spend too much time on this page. That's why I'm going to read 2 sections and not every one. You can go and read the other section, benefits and risks, okay, of living kidney donation. Now, start with the highlighted part. Nearly 100,000 people, and I've read different statistics, but we'll say it's over 100,000 people are on the waiting list for a kidney transplant. Many more people are waiting for a kidney than for all other organs combined. Unfortunately, the number of people waiting for kidneys is much larger than the number of available kidneys from living and deceased donors. You can save a life, like Steve's life, by being a kidney donor. Okay, now I'm going to scroll on to this first section here and read that, being a living kidney donor. If you have 2 healthy kidneys, you may be able to donate one of your kidneys to enhance or save someone else's life. Both you and the recipient of your kidney, the person who got your kidney, can live with just 1 healthy kidney. And I can attest to that because I donated by the grace of God in July of 2019, and I've had no problems since then. I'm living a perfectly healthy life, not only as a kidney donor, but as a liver donor. I donated 70% of my liver in November of last year to a friend of mine with liver disease, and I'm doing great by God's grace. As long as you take good care of yourself, you'll be fine. As a donor. If you are interested in living kidney donation, you want to contact the transplant center where a transplant candidate is registered, which is what I've been encouraging you guys to do. You will need to have an evaluation at the transplant center to make sure that you are a good match for the person you want to donate to, and that you are healthy enough to donate. And they are going to put you through a number of tests and get into that. If you are a match, healthy, and willing to donate, you and the recipient can schedule the transplant at a time that works for both of you. And that'd be if you're a direct match, meaning you can directly donate to Steve. If you are not a match for the intended recipient, but still want to donate your kidney so that the recipient can receive a kidney that is a match, paired kidney exchange may be an option for you. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. You can watch this video, the benefits of living kidney donation. Okay, and another way to donate a kidney while you're alive is to give a kidney to someone you do not necessarily know. This is called living non-directed donation or altruistic donation. That's how I donated. If you are interested in donating a kidney to someone you do not know, the transplant center might ask you to donate a kidney when you are a match for someone who's waiting for a kidney in your area or as part of a kidney paired donation. You will never be forced to donate. That's absolutely right. They're going to ask you, have you been forced during the testing process? Have you been forced? Have you been coerced? Is someone making you do this? They're going to ask you that repeatedly. And of course, you're going to say no, because you're doing this willingly to help another human being made in the likeness and image of God. That's my perspective. But even if you don't believe in God, you can step forward and save a life. You can save Steve's life because he's a human being. He has the same value as you do. And if you were in his situation, you would want him to do the same thing for you. Again, benefits and risks of living kidney donation. I'm not going to read that. I'm going to scroll down. And again, you can read that by clicking on this link, the link to this page in the description section of the video. But living donor surgery, I'm going to read this information. If you want to be a living donor, you will need to have a medical exam with blood tests to be sure you are healthy enough to donate a kidney. Some of the tests needed may include blood tests, urine tests, pap smear / gynecological exam if you're a woman, colonoscopy if over age 50, screening test for cancer, antibody test, an x-ray like a chest x-ray, an EKG or electrocardiogram, which looks at your heart, and other image testing like a CAT scan. Okay. You are also required to meet with a psychologist because you will be required to go through a psychiatric evaluation or a mental health evaluation. And an independent living donor advocate to be sure you are mentally and emotionally ready to donate one of your kidneys. If you are found to be healthy in mind and in body, and your antibodies and blood type are well matched to the person getting your kidney, you may be approved to donate your kidney. Now, I'm going to scroll down to this last section here about the surgery. Some people may be concerned, oh man, what kind of surgery is this going to be? Is it going to leave a big scar? What is my body going to look like afterwards? Well, here we go. Most kidney transplant surgeries are done laparoscopically. A laparoscopic surgery is a new surgery method that uses very small cuts on the body in a thin, lighted tube to look inside the body. In a laparoscopic kidney donor surgery, the surgeon makes small cuts on the donor's stomach, and the kidney is removed through an incision just big enough for it to fit through. This operation takes 2 to 3 hours. It can take longer, like it did for me, but 2 to 3 hours, as it says here, oftentimes. And a kidney donor usually spends 1 to 3 days in the hospital recovering. The recovery period after laparoscopic surgery is much shorter than after a traditional open surgery. There are also fewer complications with laparoscopic surgery. And so before they did laparoscopic surgeries, they did the open cut. So they would open you up and they'd go in and they'd grab the kidney or remove the kidney and then transplant it. That obviously, if they do an open surgery like what they do with liver transplant surgery, is much more painful. It takes longer to rehab from or to heal from, and it's just a more intensive, invasive procedure. This way, it's much less intensive. The healing process is not as long. Rehab process is not as long. Your stay in the hospital is not as long. So they've really, technology-wise, they've really improved things in a significant way from how they used to do these kidney transplant surgeries, which is great. So check out the link in the description section of this video to this page. Read all the information for yourself, including the part I didn't cover, and get more educated about the living kidney donation process. And like I said, and I'm going to stop sharing this, you go through a testing process. If you're in Rochester, in the area, if you can go directly into the hospital, okay, because you get in touch with the kidney team, the outreach team, and then you have to answer a questionnaire. So you have to answer a series of questions. And then if they feel comfortable enough, they'll move forward with you getting tested. And if you're in the Rochester area, or you can get to the Rochester area, you would come into the hospital. They draw the blood. You'd have to give a urine sample. For kidney donation, that's a 24-hour urinalysis collection. So you'd have to collect urine for 24 hours. And so you would do that before you come into the hospital. And then when you come into the hospital, you would submit the urine sample. And then after that, you go through the EKG, the chest x-ray. They may have you go to an off-site location. I don't know. For me, for the liver transplant surgery, I had to do that when I got tested. I don't know if they do that for the kidney transplant or if they take care of everything at the hospital. But everything would be taken care of either at the hospital directly or at a facility connected to UR Medicine, a lab. And then you would go or at a location, off-site location, and then you come to the hospital if they'd have you go off-site for that. And then you go through all the other testing, the psychiatric evaluation, meeting with the donor advocate, the living donor advocate, social worker, so on and so forth, doctors, nurses. It's a very extensive, thorough process, and you don't have to worry. If you're not healthy enough in mind and body, they're not going to approve you as a donor. So they look out for your best interest. They don't want you to be put in harm's way. Even if you're physically healthy enough, if they feel like you haven't answered the questions correctly, they may disqualify. They will disqualify. I'm not going to say may. They will disqualify. But if you're of a sound mind and sound body, they hopefully will approve you. And then you can move forward and you can donate to Steve directly, or you can help him in some other ways if, say, you're not blood type compatible with him. And that's what I'm about to get into right now. Blood compatibility or incompatibility, blood type compatibility or incompatibility. This is very, very important. So let me show this page right here. Okay. Screen share this. Do you have anything to say to add to that, Steve, while I bring this up on the screen?
The one thing I did want to say,
Sure.
even if you can't make it into Strong directly, or if you don't exactly
Oh,
live around the corner.
yeah. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. I forgot to mention this part. Yeah. If you can't, they will send you a blood collection kit and a urine kit, and you would do it from where you are in your city at a hospital near you or a lab. And then they would test it and they'd send the results back to Strong. And then they would determine if you're a fit candidate to come in for the rest of the testing, and they'd schedule a time for you to do that. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, yep. That's what you would do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that I've done it both ways. So when I lived in Rochester for the liver donation, I was able to do that. For the kidney donation, I had to travel outside of Rochester because I went to different hospitals in, Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. And so I've done it both ways. But yeah, they work with you. And again, get in touch with Whitney or with his team at UR Medicine. You see the number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Call them, get tested, and let's get this man a kidney. Okay. So right now you see that on the screen, incompatible blood types and paired exchange programs. There we go. So I'm going to read this information right here. Okay. Blood typing is the first blood test that will determine if your blood is compatible with the potential donor's blood. If the donor's blood type works with your blood type, the donor will take the next blood test, tissue typing. Kidney donors must have a compatible blood type with the recipient. The Rh factor, the positive or negative of blood, does not matter in a transplant. The following blood types are compatible, and this is the meat of this article. What I want you guys to understand, to know: donors with blood type A can donate to recipients with blood types A and AB. I'm A positive. I could donate to people with an A or AB blood type. Donors with blood type B, like what Steve has, can donate to recipients with blood types B and AB. And of course, he needs someone to donate to him, but I'm just talking about mentioning he has a B, in fact, B positive blood type. But again, the Rh factor doesn't matter. Donors with blood type AB can donate to recipients with blood type AB only. But people with the blood type AB are universal recipients. Donors with blood type O can donate to recipients with blood types A, B, AB, and O. And O is a universal donor. Donors with O blood are compatible with any other blood type. So, guys, most of the people that I interview that are in need of a kidney have an O blood type, and many of the people looking to donate that I know of have an O blood type. So you could donate to Steve because you're the universal donor, someone with an O blood type. Now, recipients with blood type O can receive a kidney from blood type O only. Recipients with blood type A can receive a kidney from blood types A and O. So those with a B blood type, like Steve, can receive a kidney from blood types B and, like I said before, O. And recipients with blood type AB can receive a kidney from blood types A, B, AB, and O. Again, they are the universal recipient. Recipients with AB blood are compatible with any other blood type. So now from this, and again, a link to this page is in the description section of the video. Check it out. Read it for yourself. So let's say, we're going to move on to something else now, very important. Let's say you're not blood type compatible with Steve, okay? You're not a B or O blood type. Say you're an A positive like me and you can't donate to him directly. Well, there are other options for how you can help him get a kidney, and that's what I'm going to touch on right now, starting with what's called the paired kidney exchange or kidney exchange or paired exchange program, which is definitely at UR Medicine or Strong Hospital. So I'm going to read this information right here, okay? And again, this page is linked up in the description section of this video. Take a look at it. If blood types are not compatible, the donor will not be able to donate directly to you. However, the donor may consider donating through a paired exchange program. Paired exchange programs allow you to get a kidney from another donor who is not a match for their intended recipient. Paired exchange involves 2 living donors and 2 recipients. If the recipient from one pair is compatible with the donor from the other pair, and vice versa, the transplant center may arrange for a swap for 2 simultaneous transplants to take place. This allows 2 transplant candidates to receive organs and 2 donors to give organs through the original recipient/donor pairs. The original recipient/donor pairs were unable to do so with each other. And this is what it is. It's a cross match. You see that right there? So the donor from one team would give to the recipient from another team. The donor from the other team would give to the recipient from the team from the other team. So basically it's like this. If you get tested, it's determined immediately, or immediately you don't have a blood type, you're not B or O, and you can't donate to Steve directly, but you still want to help him. So you would go through the testing process, and then say you're healthy enough, they would pair you with Steve. You'd be a pair, a team, a duo. And then they would look for another duo to pair you up with. And they would look for someone who could donate to Steve from the other duo, okay, and that you could donate to from the other duo. So they're looking for a recipient and a donor from the other group. And like I said, once they find them, the donor from the other group would donate to Steve. The donor from your group would donate to the recipient from their group. And it's a cross match. And it's a very powerful way. So don't think for people who need a living kidney transplant or a kidney transplant to get a kidney. And, you're talking about 2 people getting a kidney as opposed to if you were directly donating to Steve. It's just as powerful way of helping him. And you're gonna 2 people will be helped in the situation. So I love it. That's actually how I I got approved. I wasn't blood type compatible with the person that I got approved to help. It was a part of a paired exchange program at Georgetown University Hospital. We got paired together. Within a couple weeks after I got approved and I got paired with this woman, her name's Trina Faison. She's doing wonderful today. She actually received a kidney from another hospital because we got paired together at Georgetown University Hospital. And but she got it from another hospital she was a patient at called Temple University Hospital in Philadelphia. And so from there, my journey was pretty interesting. I'll touch on that later, but I ended up donating another way, which I'm going to touch on next. And another way that you can help Steve if you don't go this route. But take a look at this page. It's in the description section, and read it. Get educated on this topic for yourself. It's always important to do your own reading, so you know what you're getting into. To be forewarned is forearmed, and this is what I want you to be, is educated. I don't want you to go in blind. And like I said, if you call the number at the bottom of the screen, get the ball rolling on the process of getting tested for Steve. They will educate you. And if you go, you do your own research, you'll have questions you can ask them, and they will answer them. If you don't get them answered in the literature that I'm sharing with you, or the pages I'm sharing with you, the resources, they will give you the information that you need to know what the whole process is about, any questions you have. So I'm going to stop sharing this page. And so Steve, what has been your worst experience throughout this entire process? What would you say is the worst thing that you've had to endure?
Probably at times the mental struggle, to be honest with you. I've been pretty lucky along the way to not really be in too much physical pain. Um, like my dialysis clinic says, I'm kind of like that miracle patient right now. So I mean, fingers crossed, things remain this way. But probably the biggest struggle is really wrapping your head around what's going on and what could be the worst case scenario out of this whole deal and disease that I'm fighting. I mean, the outcome can obviously not be what you want it to be. So that's why every day, don't take anything for granted, and really be compliant with dialysis and appointments and stuff like that. You never know what tomorrow can bring. So that
Absolutely.
would probably be my big struggle, to be honest with you.
Sure. Well, thank you for sharing that. Guys, please get tested for Steve. I know it sounds scary, but it's not a scary thing. You can live a perfectly healthy life. Like I said before, I have, many other people have, many people. There are many living kidney donors walking around. They live perfectly healthy lives. And they tell you this: if you're healthy enough to donate, then after the surgery, as long as you continue to take care of yourself, you'll be fine. There are potential risks, but that's with any procedure, especially one of this nature. But you have a lot of very healthy living kidney donors who, it's the greatest thing they've ever done, because they've helped to give the gift of life to someone, whether they know the person or not. In my case, I've never met the person I donated to. I don't know what they look like. I don't know their name, but I wouldn't change anything. And I would encourage you. You see Steve, though. You see him. You're hearing his story. It's very powerful, very compelling. And I'm encouraging you, please step forward, call the number that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and get tested for him. It'll be the greatest thing, maybe the greatest thing you've ever done with your life. I don't know how long you're going to live or what you're going to do, but it'll be one of the greatest things you've ever done, and it will save his life. He needs this to save his life, because, dialysis, like he said before, is a temporary fix. It's not a permanent solution. You can't be on dialysis forever. Eventually, it comes to an end. And if you don't have a kidney, that'll be the end of your life. So I know people one of which he was the first person I interviewed. Unfortunately, he died waiting for a kidney. And that's not to scare anyone, that's to educate them, maybe scare them into taking action if that's what it's going to take. And I don't believe that's going to happen to Steve. I don't believe he's going to pass away. I believe someone is going to donate to him, but I'm just telling you about the gravity of this situation. It's not a game. This is very serious. This man's life is hanging in the balance here, and you have the power to do something about that. And I'm not trying to manipulate anyone. I'm just saying, put yourself in his shoes. You know, even if you're not a Christian, okay, you can abide by do unto others, you know, the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Step forward. At least get tested. You never know. Don't say, well, I won't be healthy enough. Now, you may know for a fact, maybe you had hepatitis, okay, or whatever the case may be. You know, you may, that's one thing, or you're a smoker. Okay. But you're not a smoker. You're not a heavy drinker. You don't have any of these serious pre-existing health conditions. Come forward and get tested. And you never know what can happen. There are people that have come forward and gotten tested, and they didn't think anything was going to happen. And I've seen stories like this, and they ended up donating. And what's preferable is for you to be able to donate to Steve directly. So we really want everyone to come forward, regardless of your blood type. But if you have an O blood type, regardless if it's positive or negative, or B, that would be great, because if you can donate to Steve directly, that's the fastest way for him to get a kidney. Even though I've read about the paired kidney exchange program, and I'm going to be reading about another program in just a second, that would be the fastest way. But even through the paired kidney exchange program or this other program I'm going to touch on, if you do it that way, that's wonderful. Like Steve said, he's like a miracle patient, which is awesome. And keep him in your prayers. Let's pray that continue, that he has minimal pain, and that he stays alive as long as possible until he can get the living kidney from a living kidney donor. Now, I'm going to move on to the next phase. Oh, actually, I'm going to give a little bit more information about paired kidney exchange. This is from a website that I love. I know the gentleman who started this organization. His name is Ned Brooks. So I'm going to share that. Okay, the paired match. And the name of this organization is the National Kidney Donation Organization. And we're going to take a look at the paired match information. But go to the homepage. You see that? See the mouse is scrolled over that. Check out all the information they have on the homepage, and get as knowledgeable as possible about kidney donation. Not just for you if you're interested in being a living kidney donor, but as an advocate. This is a good advocacy website, so you can get involved with that as well. So I'm going to scroll down here. This is just more information about being a paired kidney, or about joining the paired kidney exchange program, or being a paired kidney donor. You see, have you been unable to donate to a loved one because your blood types or antigens are incompatible? Okay. And then National Kidney Registry. That's how I donated. It's through that organization. And you have this information right here. Okay. Blood type incompatible. Not a match. If you have been unable to donate to a loved one because your blood types or antigens are incompatible, please consider a kidney paired exchange. It's also known as a kidney swap. And I'm going to read this information. Okay. A paired kidney exchange, also known as a kidney swap or paired match, occurs when a living kidney donor is incompatible with the recipient, and so exchanges kidneys with another donor/recipient pair. So click on the link to this page in the description section, find out more information. Okay, you got complex cases, how pairs are matched, how long will it take, so on and so forth. Read that information, go to the homepage, read that information. What I do want to show you right now are some facts. This is what you see. New kidney patients added every month, 3,150, so 3,150. 13 people die every day waiting for a kidney. So again, it's not a game. People are losing their lives waiting for a kidney. Received kidneys in 2019, 24,273. And currently awaiting a kidney, 100,791. But there are so many people in the United States. We have well over 300 million people, some say 400 million people, around that number. So how many would be healthy enough to donate? There are more than enough people that are healthy enough to donate. They just have to know that you don't have to wait until you die to donate organs, right? You don't have to wait, mark it on the back of your license, and then when you die, you donate your different organs, your eyes, your this, your that. No, you can donate right now as a living kidney donor to Steve, who's in need of a kidney transplant. And again, he touched on this before, as Steve did, but he can receive a kidney from a cadaver, a cadaveric donation, but it's not as healthy. It doesn't last as long. Okay. If you're talking about, I've read and I've heard that a cadaveric kidney donation will last, or a kidney will last for about 8 years on average, so it could go longer, it could be shorter, the lifespan of the kidney. Now, if it's from a living kidney donor, it can last up to 20 years and longer. I've seen stories from people where it's lasted 30 years. It just depends on the person's body. And, once Steve gets a kidney, he has to take anti-rejection drugs, immunosuppressant drugs, so that his immune system doesn't reject or attack the kidney because it's foreign to his body. But his body's different than anyone else's, and it can last for 30 years, So that's why we're pushing living kidney donation. And a living kidney donor, come forward and donate to him. Get tested as soon as possible. And the information, again, the number for his team, Whitney may be someone you'll speak with, the nurse coordinator. If not, someone from the team you'll speak with. That's the number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Give it a call ASAP and get tested. Okay. So finally, the last page that I want to show, okay, is related to the third option you have to help Steve. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this page and I'm going to share this other page. Is there anything you want to add to that, Steve?
I don't think so. Besides, I know it sounds like a lot, but and probably scary at times, but it's really not. And I mean, it's really just a phone call and a couple minutes of time to see if you can make a difference in my life or anybody's life that's in my situation. So
Right.
anything would be absolutely appreciated and would go a long ways for sure.
Absolutely. Now, this is the final option. This is how I donated. I'm going to read it from the website, read this information, at least a portion of it. And again, the link to this page is in the description section. Check it out. I make that available to you because I don't want to just read it and then you don't do anything yourself. I want you to be as educated as possible. It takes no more effort than to click on the link and go and take a look at this. And that shows how serious you are about helping Steve. So, because I know I did a lot of research, man, when I was looking to donate, because it was something I really wanted to do. You really have to want to do this. We're not coercing you or trying to manipulate you or anything like that. Again, this is of your own volition. We just want you to give out of the kindness of your heart. We want you to step forward and help because you want to help this man, because you would want someone to help you if you were in the same situation. Now, okay, so I'll read it top. Let me read this part first. Kidney donation is major surgery involving medical tests. We've already touched on that, which will require at least one full day at the hospital, 1 to 3 days in the hospital after surgery, typically 2 to 4 weeks off work for recovery. And for review of kidney donation risks, you can click that link there. Now, I will say this. After you donate to Steve, and I would say even before this, but especially after you donate to him, okay, you're going to be in the hospital. They're going to ask you after the first day. Well, at least they did. They asked me. And I'm assuming every hospital does this, but let's assume that every hospital does this. After the first day, they say, do you want to be discharged? Okay. You're going to feel real good because you're on drugs. You're all drugged up and you can feel the pain a little bit, but not too much. And you may feel like, yeah, I can go home. I can be discharged. If you're a donor from outside of Rochester, they will help you with accommodations to stay here in rehab. The way that Georgetown did with me. They gave me an apartment for 2 weeks. I don't know if that's exactly what they would do with you, but they will help you with accommodations. But I felt good enough after 1 day to be discharged. But when I got back to the apartment they had for me, that the pain medication wore off, that the pain really, really hit me, and it was the gas pain. Okay. And so it wasn't so much the incision pain or pain coming from the area where the surgery took place, which is in my abdomen. It was from the gas buildup. Okay. And so you're going to want to request at least 2 days and even a third day, like 1 to 3 days. If I were you, I'd stay in for all 3 days. Maybe 2 is good enough. 1 is not. Don't get discharged after a day. And they will accommodate you. They'll ask you, do you feel good enough to go home? Say, no, I want to stay in for another day at least. And they'll let you do that. Now, they do want donors out faster. They're going to release you faster than a recipient because the recipient has been sick. It takes them longer to heal. Their body has to get acclimated to a new organ in their body. And then, with their the drugs they're taking and everything. So it's a different situation for the donor and the recipient, but they're looking out for your best interest, the donor. So don't think they're trying to rush you out. But if you're healthy enough to donate, you recover very quickly. And but again, that initial 3-day period, ask for more than 1 day in the hospital. Just a heads up. And if you can, bring a laxative, an over-the-counter laxative. They'll prescribe you one. But for me, it wasn't enough. It wasn't powerful enough. And just to be on the safe side, in order to release that gas that builds up during the surgery and then following the surgery, yes, you want to have an over-the-counter laxative to make sure you're expelling that gas and you're not dealing with the pain that I dealt with. But I wouldn't change anything. If I honestly, even going through that was a very valuable experience, so that I could share this with you so that you can be forewarned about what to expect if that were to happen to you. But anyways, moving on from there, let's go into this information right here that I've highlighted. The voucher program, also referred to as advanced donation. Like I said, that's how I donated, is a kidney paired exchange separated in time. When a donor donates as part of the ADP, either a standard voucher or family vouchers will be provided based on the situation. When a donor donates for an intended recipient who will likely need a transplant within the next year, a standard voucher will be provided for that one recipient. Standard vouchers can also be provided when a chain breaks and a donor continues with their donation to keep a portion of their chain on schedule, even though their paired recipient has been removed from that chain. So there's that option. And the family option. To help Steve, you'd want to do the standard voucher because he's in need of an immediate kidney transplant within the next year. And obviously, we'd want that to happen much sooner than a year. But within the next year, the people who are in need within a year, that's the standard voucher. And how this works is, okay, for me, once that person that I was paired with initially through Georgetown University Hospital received a kidney from one of the other hospitals she was a patient at, called Temple University Hospital, because I informed the paired kidney exchange coordinator at Georgetown that this had happened. And so she said, I said, so what are my options? I asked, what are my options? And she said, well, you can come into the hospital and you can donate directly. It'd be altruistic. You're not going to know who the person is, but you can donate directly. I said, that's great. That's a great option. It's good to know that. But between now and let's say early summer, because I had a year's eligibility total, and in terms of the physical testing process, for me, that took place in August of 2018. And then the rest of the testing took place between that point in time and December. So I had about 8 more months of eligibility, 7 or 8 months of eligibility. And I wanted to go until I would say June, trying to connect with someone. So one thing led to another, and I connected with this woman who was also a patient at Georgetown. And the thing about kidney donation is you have to be sick enough to be in a position where you need a kidney donation, you need a kidney transplant. But at the same time, you have to be healthy enough, because if you're too sick, they won't go forward with the transplant surgery. So you got to be in a kind of a middle road where you're sick enough to be added to the transplant list, but healthy enough to where you can handle the transplant surgery and your body can handle the transplant, of the kidney. So she was healthy enough. She got placed at Georgetown as a patient. and I attempted to get tested for her, but things just didn't work out. So I told her I'm going to go into the hospital and I'm going to donate because my eligibility is running out. If I don't do this, I'll have to start the testing process all over again. And so what ended up happening is I told her, but I'm going to figure out a way that I can still help you. So I talked to the paired kidney exchange coordinator, and she told me, well, there's this thing called the voucher program. And that's how I found out about it. Now, this would have been June of 2019. So I found out about it. I told the woman, Terry, who I ended up getting the voucher for, what this entailed. So we both signed a contract, and I agreed that I would go forward as an altruistic donor, move forward as an altruistic donor, donating to someone that I've never heard and I've never seen. I don't know anything about. I don't know their gender. I don't know their age. I know nothing about them. I'm going to donate to them. And it's a part of what's called a kidney chain. So you could have 6 people getting a kidney through a kidney chain, from a kidney chain. And so I'd be donating to one person specifically who is a part of a chain. So I'd help up to 6 people get a kidney. And then I'd be able to get a voucher for this other person. And that's what ended up happening. I went into the hospital July 30th of 2019. I donated. She got a voucher. Her name got put at the top of the transplant list. And within 4 months, she got a kidney. So this is a way for you to help even more people than the first 2 options and be able to help Steve get a kidney as well. What's preferred for Steve is he get a direct donation. But if we're talking about helping Steve and others, paired kidney exchange or the voucher program, which is a paired kidney exchange in time. And the reason they call it a paired kidney exchange in time is because it is a cross match. But in this case, Steve, instead of the day you donate him getting a kidney, he would wait until they found someone who could donate to him directly months down the road, we'll say. But it's an awesome program. The information is awesome on this page in particular. I want you to scroll down again. The link to this page is in the description section of this video. You can find out we have different information that you need to know. We have donated. We are your safety net. We provide donation life insurance. We provide donation disability insurance. We provide lost wage reimbursement. We provide travel and lodging reimbursement. We provide financial protection, and so on and so forth. You see all of this information here. Scroll down, read it. Click here to see if you're qualified to donate. So you have these different options. And again, we want you to be a direct donor for Steve, but if you can help other people as well, you have these other options to where you can help Steve and other people at the same time. I just wanted to make you guys aware of this information because it's very powerful to know that you can play a role, an active role in saving multiple lives by the grace of God. So the last thing I want to screen share is, hold on one second. There we go. Okay, the last thing I want to screen share is the page to Steve's hospital. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Right here. Okay, so you see this page? You're going to go to this page. A link to it is in the description section of the video. Kidney transplant at UR Medicine. You can start the journey this way. We'll read this information. What I would encourage you to do, and you see the phone number there, 585-275-7753. That is the general number to call to inquire or to get tested for Steve, to get the ball rolling on the testing, whether you're going to speak with Whitney or you're going to talk to someone else from his team, his donor team. This is the information. Like I said, the phone number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Take a look at that. Call the number. Get the ball rolling. Or you can go through the form here. You can go do it either way. What I would do if I were you is I would call them first and then have them direct you from there. That's personally what I would do. That's what I typically did. But if you feel more comfortable filling out the form, do that. And if you want to, I can connect you directly with Steve. You get in touch with me through the Compassion Match page. I put a link in the description section as well. Get in touch with me and I'll connect you with Steve. Maybe you want to talk to him before you get the ball rolling on the testing process. Or maybe you want to call the hospital first, get the ball rolling, Maybe you answer the questionnaire first and then you get in touch with him. But either way, it's a good idea to connect with him. You have this opportunity. I haven't had the opportunity to meet the person I donated to. They found out about me. I sent a letter to them through the hospital, through Georgetown, and I never heard from them, which, again, I wouldn't change anything, even if I knew that ahead of time. But you have an opportunity to help someone that you can see, that you know his name, you know he's a man. So that's an awesome thing. But again, the links to each of these pages are in the description section. Get the ball rolling. Get started, guys. Help this man get a life-saving kidney, because otherwise it's not good. This is a terminal situation otherwise. And so his life is as important as your life, is as important as my life. And, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I keep saying that because a lot of times we think of only of ourselves. How is this going to impact me? And that's understandable. But try to put yourself in this man's shoes. If you were in need of a kidney transplant, what would you want people to do? Just do nothing, find out about it and do nothing, know that they can do something about it and do nothing, or take action? Of course, you want them to take action, to get tested. And even if you're not healthy enough, you won't know that. If you have an underlying health condition, you have type 2, type 1 diabetes, or you've had hepatitis or something like that, they'll disqualify you. But other than that, you're not a smoker, you're not a heavy drinker, you don't have any underlying health conditions, get tested. You never know. And again, I said this before, there are people that have gotten tested. They didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what was going to happen, but they got tested and they found out they were healthy enough and they were chosen as the donor and they're able to save someone's life. And you can be that person to give this young man, the gift of life. Only 32 years old, young man. I'm 35, So, he's younger than I am. Most of the people I interview, I'm going to say this, are much older. So this is a young guy. He has his whole life ahead of him. All that stuff he used to do, he wants to do that again. He wants to be able to work full time. He wants to be able to spend even more time with his son and his girlfriend and enjoy life and see his son grow up. So get tested for him, please, as many people as possible. So all the links are in the description section of this video that I have shared. So take a look at all of them. But even before you do that, and if you're just tuning in now, rewatch this interview. Watch it from the beginning, okay? It's really important information. But again, if you don't have time to do that, take a look at all the links in the description section of this video and get in touch with either with Whitney or someone else from his team, his transplant team at UR Medicine. And the number's there at the bottom of the screen. Again, Steve is a B positive blood type. He has a B positive blood type. That means if you're a B or an O, regardless if you're positive or negative, you can donate to him. And if you're not, you can help another way. The Paired Kidney Exchange Program, I've covered that. The voucher program, I've covered that. But links to that information is in the description section of this video. Take a look at it. Contact his donor team, get tested, and save it and save his life. That's what I'm saying. It only takes one person to be approved. But the more people that get tested, it increases the chances of him finding a donor. And that's what we want. So anything you want to add, Steve, before we wrap this up? Because we're almost at the 1 hour mark.
I don't believe so, Nick. I would say thank you, and I appreciate you bringing me on. And like we both have said, it's a simple phone call, first name, last name, and my date of birth for verification reasons, and a brief questionnaire, and it can go from there. So it doesn't hurt to try. And any questions, concerns, U of R is very comforting, to say the least. So you would never be left out in the dark. That's for sure.
That's right. And
this has been a huge, scary journey for me. And I must say, I don't trust a lot of people, but I trust setting my life in the hands of everybody at U of R, for sure.
Absolutely. And let me add this, and I'm going to make a habit of doing this moving forward. I mentioned it in the intro. I should have placed it. I'm going to take this off of the screen well, let me actually, not that. Let me take this off of the screen real quick. And I mentioned it, but your date of birth, I'm going to copy and paste that here. I'm going to put that on the screen. It's September 26th, 1988. So let me put that here real quick so you can see that. Add this. Okay, there you go. So you need that when you call, and I should have had that. That's why I mentioned it, but you need to actually visibly see it or visually see it. So there it is. So when you call, you give them his date of birth, Steve Reeves. That's his name, Steve Reeves. R-E. Yes. So there we go. It was great interviewing you, bro. I'm happy that I can do that. And I want to follow up with you moving forward. We can do this again a month from now to see if there's been any progress, any people that have come forward for you to get tested. And if not, we'll just do another awareness raising interview. But
Sure.
Thank you for coming on. Again, get tested for this guy. Call the number at the bottom of the screen. That's his date of birth. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, everyone. This has been another Compassion Match broadcast. God bless you and have a wonderful day. And keep Steve in your prayers. Okay? Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye now.
Thank you.